Hello everyone, my name is Lorthorn, and today we have an oldie but also a goodie moddy for reviewy. Howling MOON Mod is a ludicrously fun little mod, and as its name implies, it is for the nocturnal furries out there, or in other words, werewolves, the big fluffy woof boys. This mod also has werewolf hunters, but they're lame and boring and smell of wolfsbane. A flower of many names, its technical name is Acatonctium, which is a bugger to pronounce, and its other name is Women's Bane, which lets us know that all werewolf hunters are sweaty nerds that can't get a date as they repulse the ladies. The werewolves, on the other hand, have ladies falling all over them. Everyone knows that being big and hairy is highly attractive. But what does being a werewolf entail? Entail? Ah, I see, I made a joke. Well, for one, you get a tail, and also you get yourself a snoot, and you can choose the colors of said snoot. We've got whites and browns and blacks and murder colors, all the colors you could ever want. And besides cosmetics, you also get such benefits as jumping high, punching like a truck, running like a truck, and regenerating like a truck. You get cool new skill menus that are highly in-depth, and you can unlock custom abilities to better make the kind of werewolf you want to be. But before we get into any of that stuff, we should cover how to become a werewolf, as without that, the rest of this is rather pointless. The boring, lame way is you can go into the woods and get bitten by random chance and probably eaten. Or you can take fate into your own hands like a Chad, locate a village, bust into the werewolf hunter's base, climb up the stairs, bust out the werewolf in the cage, and poke it with a stick until it gets angry enough to attack you. Then once you've been mauled, you're most likely infected by lycanthropy if you manage to survive the ordeal. On that note, what's with monster hunters and keeping the things that infect creatures and turn them into monsters inside their base? I mean, the werewolf hunters have the werewolf there, and it's like, hey, bite me, and then you can become a werewolf. And the vampire hunters have the fangs, which you can just take off their wall and stab yourself with. And it's like, oh, I'm a vampire. Ooh, look at me. I mean, maybe they're trying to create more work for themselves so they can get paid more emeralds by the villagers, but I don't know, I feel like the hunters want to entirely exterminate and eradicate whatever it is they're hunting. But perhaps it's some sort of weird pyramid scheme where they just want to make as much money as they possibly can, and the hunter kings just have loads of emeralds they're just sitting on, and the villagers are just constantly paying them, and some weirdness to it, I don't know. Anyways, once you are infected, you get all sweaty, and every now and then you'll hear your heartbeat so loud it'll make your vision go blurry and all red. Once you're through this delirium of fever, and night hits, you will become the avatar of many a deviant art profile, and you can now run about howling and sniffing butts without getting the weird looks, as everyone is terrified of you and trying to run away. Well, things certainly change, and people are no longer judging you for what you're doing before. Oh dear. You monster. I mean, you can't do that sort of thing, running about, howling, sniffing people's butts in public. Also, I mean, benefit of being a werewolf is you can go about naked and no one judges you, as well. Although I guess you're going to get a very different kind of judgment, probably involving silver bullets and the like, but those aren't developed in a medieval society, so you just have to look up for swords and arrows, and, well, you're a werewolf, you can deal with that sort of thing, until a stupid adventurer comes along and wrecks you, but, I mean, that's going to take a while to happen, so... Put some clothes on, you freak! Alright, let's talk about the werewolves then, and their leveling up and all that fun stuff. Of course, animals do run away from you, and, well, all mobs seem to be aggressive still, so you can't avoid that, and they hurt about just as much as they used to anyways until you start leveling up. And we're going to talk about that leveling up because that is basically one of the main focuses of this mod. So let's go through the little werewolf menu screen when we're in a safer spot. Oh yeah, also, downside of werewolf, you can't hold stuff. Huge downside actually. The werewolf mod has some buttons you should know about. So, in the options and controls, you just go options, controls, and this is how you'll set your hotkeys. So this is how you do it. Howling Moon, so your abilities use ability R or ability F. So these are for abilities. You can control what you want your transformation to be. So I have mine set to V. It's something different usually. Menus usually set to K. I've set my menu to M for menu. So we open up our menu, and we have 4 experience. Our inclination is neutral. Don't really know what the inclination does. Anyways, we can edit our appearance in here. We only have the werewolf button has option. I like the Timberwolf. I think the Timberwolf looks best. Then we have our skills. So we've got werewolf, and we've got empty paws, our skills. And then if we go over here, this is our little, I don't know, actual skill bar. So we can add skills to ourselves. So rend makes you ignore armor. Strength makes you hit harder. Protection gives you natural armor. Movement speed increases your movement speed. Jump height increases your jump height. Fall distance, obvious. Fall distance, knockback increases your knockback of attacks. This gives you resistance. Hunger makes it so reduces the amount of hunger you get while transformed because you get hungry, and then you can't hold stuff in your hand and you starve. Regeneration makes you regenerate slightly faster. Clarity reduces the negative effects of transforming because if you transform too many times, it gets all gross and yucky. Acceleration gives you a temporary boost upon transforming, so you go crazy and can smash everything. Resistances grants you immunity to stats effects, so one is immunity to weakness, poison, slowness, fatigue, then wither. That's fun. And dexterity increases your efficiency and effectiveness with paws, which are your little hands. Now, there's an ability called paws, which lets you hold items. And I would recommend it as a probable pickup ability as a werewolf, because it lets you do stuff. So you can actually hold blocks now. And then I always like a little bit of extra strength and a little bit of extra toughness. Although jump speed's fun too. So, how does leveling up work? Well, leveling up works through a very simple process of every single thing you kill gives you either 1 or 2 XP. Most animals give you 1 XP. And zombies and the tougher mobs give you 2. Spiders seem to just give you 1. And some things like slime seem to give you no XP whatsoever. So you can see if I actually have something in my little paw, then it doesn't count as an unarmed strike, which makes it worse. Which is a little bit annoying. Yeah, well. We can go and paw off number 1, confirm. And so number 1 should stay empty. No idea. Anyways, there's commands for this mod to help you level up faster. And there's also a few tips I have for leveling up. Cows and chickens are both very easy to breed. And when you have an abundancy of animals, the cleave talent on a sword becomes incredibly effective. And so, just hit everything with the cleave talent, and it should help you level up pretty fast by delivering a nice amount of cleaves. And you can just breed tons of animals and sort of get yourself an XP farm. And that's probably the best way to level up with the werewolf, I figure, without using cheats. Look at that. Gotten a ton of XP out of that. Got to level 3 in no time. However, it takes more and more to level up each time, which could get a little bit ridiculous. And so if you want to just have the fun of being an uber powerful werewolf without earning it or anything, you can go into commands, go where levels, and type in what level you want to go up to. Level 20 is the maximum level. We try to go to level 21. We will not reach it. And at this level you get access to all the fun stuff that you could ever want. Now the abilities are all their own little thing. Shred is the most worthless ability ever because if something dies from bleeding damage, then you don't get the XP of it. So I would recommend not getting Shred. Now, Armor allows you to wear armor and it reduces your mobility. So that's sort of meh. But these other skills are a little bit fun, and all these skills scale with your level. So as you go up in level, they scale and they increase. So these are actual fun ones that aren't passive. And of course, you can increase your your stats up to 40 and maximum points, which means you won't get everything, so you do still have to custom build your werewolf even at level 20. So pick and choose carefully what exactly you want to have as your werewolf. And then, well, you'll get what you get, I guess. So, max level werewolves get pretty ridiculous, especially with their sprint speed and jump height. And their abilities can get pretty cool. To set abilities, you go into this little menu here, and you can just set them to go with your hotkeys. So we got this Sniffo radar we could turn on here. We can turn our ram ability just on, it's a little passive. Then we could turn this on to our leap power. And this is leap aim, so you can also choose what kind of leap you want. So, as you can see at level 20, this is our normal jump. And this is our leap jump, which is related just to the direction we're aiming. So you could just have it leap forward, or you can have fun with it and go very, very far. The ram power does that there, which is you ram something and then it's all stunned and confused, and so it gets those little rings around it. Of course, at the maximum level, our fist absolutely destroys things. And other power is the smelly radar, which will give you little scent trails of the animal to follow, so you can, oh, what's this I smell here? And the scent options, you can have like different color coding, so you can choose it. So monsters are red, animals are green, creatures are yellow, and other are blue, and probably includes players at some point along here, who knows. So you can have a little scent trail set up, and you can also just say scent track on, scent track off. So you can turn your ability off and on with the scents. And it's pretty cool because you can just go, there's something over there, I smell it. And then you can charge over and see what it is, and see how it's just a bunch of alpacas. And then you can go hunt them as max level werewolf, and oh, there's a werewolf hunter. Let us destroy him with our paw, because our paw is a superior weapon to all other things. And then we have the climbing ability. Just climb up any wall, and we could hold a position if we want to. We can set a whole bunch of things, and it also scales with our level. So not only can we leap, but we can also climb pretty high heights. Although, I think our leapiness is rather superior to our climbiness, but we got all these sound abilities. We can smell things, so there's monsters underground, there's enemies here. We can eat our food. We can go at hyper speed. And it's just a good time being a werewolf. Of course, counterpart to being a werewolf hunter, or hunter, is you're immune to becoming a werewolf and you just hit them. And it wasn't really developed. And this mod hasn't been worked on, unfortunately, in quite a while. It's for an older version. I think it was last worked on in about 2018. I'll have to double check that. But I'd really like to see this mod worked on a little bit more. It's really cool. It's for version 1.12. 1.2.12, so it's in one of the more common versions, so you can add it to your mod packs and still have a lot of fun and still get a lot of the modern features that you're used to with your 1.12 packs. It's good. There's a few odd things about the leveling. It's a little difficult, I'd reckon. But I'd say for a mod that turns you into a furry, it's a pretty good one. And I especially love this leap ability. I mean, anything that increases maneuverability and jumping powers is good in my books. So it's just a ton of fun. And, well, when you're a max level werewolf, you can basically one-shot anything. Yes, that's the werewolf mod. Things run away from you, you're a force to be reckoned with, and it's a boatload of fun. I might have missed some things about, but really, I don't care, and this wasn't a how-to, this was just showing things off. My final opinions on the mod then, anyways, is I really like it. It's fun, it's good, it's quick, it's easy. You can download it, you can become a werewolf relatively easily. You can be a werewolf hunter if you want to be. That's also relatively easy. You can customize your own kind of werewolf, so you could be a werewolf that wears armor and wields swords and builds stuff, or you can just be a chaos werewolf of doom and punch things. You could be a rampage werewolf that, upon transformation, he gets really, really angry and shreds and rips stuffs. Or you could just be your everyday werewolf that runs around sniffing other people's butts and leaping about like he's some sort of superhero, want to be. And then you can climb walls like Spider-Man, and well, you're basically Spider-Man, but a werewolf. And, yeah. But I'd say it's good fun. I think it's balanced, because the werewolves have a lot of problems to them, but when they get high enough level, well, you've probably earned it, because it's basically 1 XP per kill. So to get to level 19 is 20 is probably 500 kills or 250. That's a lot. In total, there's going to be an insane amount of things you kill, even if you make a farm for it. And there's going to be stronger mods out there, but it's just a good bit of fun without all that together. Could be really good in a multiplayer situation. I think that could be a lot of fun, especially if you have the older version of Vampirism. I would love to see this mod updated to the newer versions of 1.16.5 or even 1.17.1, but the mod maker is probably doing other things with his life, but someone else could port it, I don't know. Anyhow's it, thank you very, very much for watching, and I'd like to thank my Patreon supporter, Anna Wolf. They recently joined as a Patreon, and, well, they get all the votes right now and choose what's happening next, which I think is a pretty fun perk for them. The very next mod we're going to be doing a review, look at, guide, whatever I feel like, but involving showing off this mod, is Schools of Magic, which is a fun D&D-like magic mod, so be on the lookout for that. Other stuff will be coming, and if you want to vote and influence what gets seen next, as Anna Wolf does, then you can become a Patreon as well. And enough of that shilling, thank you very, very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.